All right. Hey guys, welcome. Today I'm super excited. We're launching the Seven Figure Seller Summit, and then we're at the live kickoff party. My name is Gary Huang, and I'd like to welcome everybody for joining us today. We really want to have a good time. You see, I got my party hat on. It is the Wild West of e-commerce, and I'm thrilled to have a couple special guests with us. We have first off Jamie Paros, all the way from Australia. How's it going, Jamie?
Hey Gary, how are you? How are you, all the audience out there? Super excited about your summit, and you've put together an amazing bunch of speakers this year, Gary. Well done.
Awesome. Well, I couldn't have done it without you guys. So I really appreciate Jamie coming on today. And this is also going to be an opportunity for you guys joining us. You can ask questions as well. It is the Wild West. Jamie is a seven-figure seller, one of our speakers, and he also will be speaking up. He covered a lot about optimizing the supply chain. So next, I'd like to quickly welcome our friend Ryan Kramer. How's it going, Ryan?
Gary, I'm doing well. How about yourself, sir? Loving the hat, as always.
Yes. I'm kind of the Havana samurai, as our buddy Chris put it. We're doing the Wild West. So Ryan, I'm super excited to have you on, and also thank you to Ping Pong for helping sponsor the summit. If you guys are making any international payments, especially to your suppliers overseas, like in China or India, highly recommend you guys check them out. And then also, I'd like to quickly welcome our friend Chris Rawlings. How's it going, Chris?
What's going on, guys? Hopefully you can hear me.
Welcome.
Yeah, excited for this. Excited for the kickoff.
Awesome, man. Where are you joining us from?
Joining in from New Jersey, from Princeton, New Jersey. I was trying to get the outfit of the event award, but I think your hat actually wins. So I didn't expect to be faced with any competition.
Hey, we got to bring our A games, man. I mean, this is
I know, bro. We got to. This is the #1 voted digital Amazon event of the year, as voted by Seller Poll last year. So this isn't the Pee Wee leagues anymore. It's the major leagues.
It is the major leagues, guys. Yes, for sure. And then I really appreciate all of the speakers to really, I kind of twisted their arms like, hey guys, please bring us the A game, please present unique content, or updated content, not stuff that you just presented like last month at some other conference. So you guys watching today are really getting the top of the top, the cream of the cream. It's like, I know some speakers, they spent like 12 hours putting together like a custom presentation for us, and they're super busy, they're traveling. So I'm just super grateful for everybody for putting in the time, and we're really trying to help you guys out in the Wild West of e-commerce. So before we get started, because we are live, I see we have some comments in the chat already. So if you can see and hear us, guys, can you please type in your name and where you're joining us from in the chat, just to make sure everything is working correctly. And then we are expecting some more special guests for our live kickoff party. So as we get started, I'd like to give some quick shout outs. I see already in the chat. We have Ritwik from India. Good morning. And we have Evelyn. Welcome. And I'm glad you're doing better, just recovering from COVID. I'm glad you're back with us, Evelyn, and Chinedu as well. Welcome. Good to have you back. All right. So today's game plan is I'd like to quickly share with you the theme of this year's summit and how you guys can get the most out of it. And then also I'd like to feature our speakers. If you guys have any questions for them, I think this is a golden opportunity to ask seven-figure sellers and also e-commerce experts about questions about your business. So I want to offer some value for you guys. All right. So as we get started this year, I feel like, I was talking to Chris, I was talking to Ryan, I was talking to Jamie. I feel like right now it's really the Wild West of e-commerce in 2022. On one hand, we still have the gold, right? Everyone's getting in on this e-commerce opportunity. Amazon is still blowing up. We're seeing opportunities to exit your business, to sell your business. And, there's aggregators out there like THRASIO who are really, they're buying businesses like every week. I think I read they're buying like 1.5 businesses. So it's a really great opportunity if you play your cards right. But at the same time, like in the Wild West, there's potential pitfalls that could shoot your business down, right? I mean, we have the continued supply chain perfect storm, the high shipping cost. We have the delays that we're experiencing, the port backlogs. We're seeing increase in costs in PPC, and we're seeing Amazon suspensions for this, that, and the other thing, you name it, right? So to guide you through the Wild West, I invited over 30 seven-figure sellers, e-commerce experts, such as Jamie, such as Chris, such as Ryan, right, to really walk you through everything that they're doing to survive and thrive this year. That's why I'm super excited. Like Chris is bringing a brand new launch strategy because, TOS changes last year really eliminated rebates and search find buy, right? So, I mean, e-commerce is changing so quickly. That's why we're running the summit to really help you guys right now in 2022. All right. So quickly, I also like to walk you through a couple of things about the summit. So the summit officially is launching tomorrow. Today is kind of like the pregame show to warm up everyone. And we're kicking things off tomorrow. Day one is all about the mindset, the fundamentals of the seven figures sellers. I mean, this is super important. Not many people talk about this. And in the meantime, I would like to quickly share my screen, and then I'll walk through the calendar, and then I'll hand things over to Chris, Jamie, and Paros, Jamie, Paros, and Ryan, so that we can have a quick rundown what they'll be covering. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. If you can give me one moment. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Okay, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so starting off day one, which is tomorrow, the focus is all about the mindset and fundamentals. And Chris is going to lead things off. So he's going to cover the 2022 Amazon launch strategy that works without rebates and search find buy. Chris, can you tell us why should people join your session tomorrow morning, 9 a.m.? Chris, can you hear us? I know Chris is in the wild. Chris is walking. All right, we'll give Chris a minute to come back with us. I think his reception may be spotty. So let's keep going. So day one, we're going to cover all about mindset and fundamentals. We're going to talk about selecting a profitable product. We have Brandon Young. We're going to talk about sourcing. Elaine Pofeld, she's an author, Tiny Business, Big Money. She really covers the mindset of seven-figure sellers. Product liability is another very important topic right now because you don't have to be a millionaire to be sued for $1 million, guys. I mean, with your products, if you don't have product liability, I mean, Amazon is requiring this now, but they're not very good at letting us know. So I really brought in an expert, Ashlyn Haddon, to cover about that. And then also Mina Elias, a seven-figure seller, will be going through the secrets of improving organic rank on Amazon through PPC. So that is day one. All right. Next, as we move into day two, it's all about marketing, branding, and PPC. And we're going to talk about all of the different ways to launch, TikTok, how to increase your conversions, Amazon DSP, YouTube. I mean, YouTube to grow your Amazon business is another golden opportunity. Practical storytelling tips for brand owners, creating a brand story to really differentiate yourself, and also advanced sponsor brand ad strategies to scale your brand. And that's going to be with Liron and Mansoor from Incrementum. And as we move forward to day 3, March 2nd, we have a training on selling on Walmart. And then after that, we have Ryan Kramer, Crack the Code on Global Growth Through Capital Management. So Ryan, could you tell us a little bit about what you'll be talking about, why people should join your session?
Yeah, as you can see, this is for all levels. So capital management starts as an entrepreneur from the very beginning when you're selecting your product. So making smart choices when it comes to sourcing, logistics, to how you scale your business and your brand on an international level is always should be at the focus. How you build equity, wealth through your business, and once you grow on an international level, how you continue to do that. So Gary and I broke down a lot of different really cool tips and tricks for people to keep in mind, all the way from again, sourcing and how you can put more money back to your bottom line. Won't give away too many details now, so we want them to come back on this as Wednesday, or Wednesday or Thursday. And yeah, a lot of cool things that we saw at Ping Pong of how we're helping businesses of all levels scale and put more money towards their margin. So that's what my talk is about.
Excellent. And talking about international payments, guys, I really wanted to mention that Ping Pong is actually offering this bonus for everybody that signed up for the summit, the free pass holders. Ping Pong's offering 3 months, no wire fees when used to pay your suppliers overseas, guys. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat. If anybody is, who doesn't want to save money when you you pay your suppliers, right? 3 months, no wire fees. Depending on
as long as your suppliers aren't in Russia.
Yes, exactly. You're right.
that was done a couple weeks ago, so things have changed since then. So yeah,
geopolitical things affect our business, guys, and my heart goes out to all the people being affected over there in the Ukraine, and
especially businesses like ours, a lot of remote businesses have remote employees in Eastern Europe, including Ukraine. I have 2 employees in Ukraine in Kiev right now. It's wild.
Wow. Are they doing okay, or
yeah, they are. Yeah, they can't go anywhere, but they just basically they have a shelter nearby where they live, and anytime air raid sirens go off, they just run into that. We shouldn't go too deep down this rabbit hole, though. That's not what this event is about.
That's true. But at the same time, talking about scaling a business, I know other 7-figure sellers that have been affected as well, right? They had team members in the Ukraine. So, I feel like, e-commerce, one of the things I love most about it is we get to work with the global team, and we're helping people all over the world with their lives. A lot of people are able to work from home, spend more time with their families, and, they're, really, supporting their families, right? So, I hope that, everyone can come out of this, safely. Just keeping them in my thoughts and prayers. And,
totally.
Chris, I love if you can just give us a quick preview of what you're covering tomorrow morning in your session 2022 Amazon launch strategy.
Yeah, sorry, I saw you hovering over mine right when I was switching networks over here, so I figured I missed that. So for those of you guys that are already selling on Amazon, that Amazon cracked down on ranking manipulation at the end of last year. I think it was November, December last year, sent out a bunch of TOS warnings and threatening warnings to thousands or tens of thousands of sellers, pulled the APIs for rebate platforms that sellers were using to rank. And this was kind of really standard in most seller communities in terms of the rank culture. So things changed a lot in terms of how to rank. And inside Sophie Society, the company that I founded, we adapted, and we have experimented with tons of different strategies. And this is the one that we use to rank new products in particular, and also stale old products. It's a ranking protocol that really focuses a lot on really particular PPC setup, and other kind of tactics that are all TOS compliant, that we found that really work. And I show examples in there too that happened a couple of weeks, so you guys know that it's relevant and timely. So yeah, it's good stuff. It's really valuable. Anybody who's interested in ranking new products during product launches for their brands, I definitely recommend you come. And I think I'm kicking it off, right, Gary? I think I'm the first event.
Yes, you are the kickoff event. You're the headliner, the first person to go, because I feel like launch strategy, that's the fundamental, right? Regardless if you're a 7-figure seller or you're just getting started, everyone needs to know how to rank and win in 2022. That's why I feel like this session is so important. And Chris has worked with, how many launches have you overseen in your lifetime?
Over 2,000, but that's since 2015. Since this new TOS update, it's been a couple dozen, somewhere between 20 and 30 that we've overseen. So,
So Chris, I mean, not only is he a 7-figure seller, he really, is working on a lot of different launches. So he's seeing a lot of stuff, guys. So everybody watching out there, if you have any questions about launch, TOS, what you're doing right now, I mean, highly recommend you can ask a question to Chris. I know Chris has to run early. He's in the wild. I don't want him to freeze up or like freeze literally. So if you do have a question,
I can never freeze in this thing.
Yeah, Chris looks very warm. But if you guys have any questions, seriously, golden opportunity. Imagine, that one thing that can unlock that one thing holding you back, guys. And same with Ryan. Ryan's an expert when it comes to global expansion, capital management, really nitty gritty with all of the payments. If there's any question you have about paying your foreign suppliers, whether to pay, in this currency or that, now is your opportunity, guys. All right. So moving forward, I'd like to quickly some quick shout outs to everyone joining us. And we have a global audience. Chinedu is in Lagos, Nigeria. Wow. Welcome from Africa. And Keith is joining us from Vancouver. Evelyn from UK, and Aper, welcome. Rohan from India as well. Excellent. And also welcome to our friend Anthony Cofrancesco from Picku. How's it going, Anthony? Welcome.
What's up, bro?
What's going on, everyone? Sorry, I clicked the wrong StreamYard link, but happy to be here. What's up, everyone?
Welcome. Yeah, better late than never.
Now, that's what matters.
Yes. Great to see you, Anthony. Can you quickly introduce yourself, or where you joining us from, and what you'll be covering at the summit?
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Anthony Cofrancesco. I am currently in New York City, and on my talk, I'm going to be walking through a whole process for listing optimization. We take a mock e-com listing and we break it apart and show the whole process of going through creative iterations on the main image and secondary images, and it's all step by step. And Gary can tell you it's pretty interesting, so I hope you go and check it out.
Yes. Welcome, Anthony. And Anthony will be speaking on day 4, profitability, and he will give a masterclass on $1 million listing optimization, how small tweaks can make big differences on profitability. So, and Anthony also, he works with many sellers as well, with a lot of A/B testing, split testing when it comes to listings, images, copywriting, what works. So he's another expert that, like Chris, he's probably seen so many different things, what's working, what's not working. So I think that's a very valuable opportunity as well. So if you have any questions for Anthony, now's your chance. And thanks so much, Anthony, for coming on. So moving forward, I'd like to quickly highlight our friend Jamie Paros, and he will be giving his masterclass also on Thursday, day 4, profitability, the focus on March 3rd. And he will give a training on optimizing your supply chain for e-commerce sellers. Can you give us a quick preview? Why should people join your session, Jamie?
Yeah, no worries. G'day to everybody out there. Oh, good day. Sorry, the Aussie slang.
Where are you joining us from, by the way?
Melbourne, Australia, Gary. Melbourne, Australia. It's
awesome.
Nearly 9:30 a.m. So it's just dropped the kids off at school and jumped on the show with you guys. But yeah, look, supply chain, as we know, took a massive hit last year. It was one of those topics that's really in the past hasn't been a really sexy topic to talk about, supply chain and getting all those things right. And then all of a sudden we saw these massive explosions in shipping costs, and everyone had to start paying attention all of a sudden. And, it was really affecting businesses, bottom line. People were, mothballing their products and businesses and all sorts of things that we're hearing about that, from a $3,000-$4,000 container and now being quoted, $18,000 to $20,000. That just really can destroy anyone's business when you think about margins. So, in 2009, myself, I've got a logistics background. We ran a family transport company for about 15, 20 years until I started getting into e-com. When I started getting into e-com, I spent a lot of time in China with our brand, and I had a business partner that we still do in our brand. And I was the one that went to China and did those things. In 2019, I was in China 6 times. Every time I went there, we'd launch different products and bits and pieces. And I always had this logistics background in my head thinking, I know how things are shipped, but all of a sudden there's thresholds and stuff with Amazon, with carton sizes, pallet weights, box sizes, box weights. And I just saw that the way that the supply chain worked for e-com sales just wasn't making sense to me or adding up to me. I'd spend hours with pallets and measuring tapes and scales in the factories with the suppliers, just trying to get things optimized for how I saw things should be shipped and how I saw things should be stored in 3PLs. So, over the last couple of years, myself and a partner, we created ShipSavvy. It's the world's first Amazon supply chain tool. So basically gets your product from its finished packaging state and will create all your master cartons for you, all within Amazon's TOS, sizes, thresholds, but at the same time, calculating those boxes for pallets and storage and for last leg deliveries and stateside shipping in the US. As we know, 3PLs, it's getting really, really hard to find storage in the US, and it's skyrocketing. You think about the backlog of all the stuff that was on the water over the Christmas period in Q4. Well, now that's all reached the shore, and that's all needing to find a place because of inventory limits. And I basically break down how you can start saving money in your Amazon business with getting really all those 1%ers with shipping, master cartons, pallets, storage, stateside shipping, saving on receiving, prepping, labeling fees, all those things that people really don't like to know about and just flick them off to be sorted. But that's where a lot of money's being bled at the moment. And our tool's pretty cool to help people out, and all sellers are doing product research, getting it right from the start, or established sellers selling products, putting them through our optimizers and going, some people are putting their products through our optimizers and going, thank you, but oh my God, like how much money I've been wasting all these years. So it's quite an interesting concept, and I'll be breaking down a full case study in my talk.
Excellent, Jamie. And I feel like, supply chain, I mean, Jamie said it's not the sexiest topic, but it's like, I actually come from a sourcing and supply chain background, and there's a saying that goes, the real money is made in the buying, not in the selling. Right. So if you think about, the buying, that includes not only the product cost, but also the cost to ship it. And if you're able to shave some money off of the shipping prices, the packaging, the Amazon fees, that has like a compound effect on your profit margin, on your bottom line. So that's why I feel like it's so important, especially right now in the Wild West. We're still seeing the high shipping fees. And one of the best ways to offset that is to increase your profits, right? And then that's why Jamie's session, I feel, is so important when it comes to optimizing your supply chain. I mean, he's able to help, like in that container, if right now it's not optimized, if you're only getting like 1,000 units in that container, if you can optimize it more to, I mean, think about like Tetris, right? If you can get everything to fit in all those spaces, maybe you can bump it up to 1,200 units, 1,300 units. Think about the bottom line savings, and that's going to go right into your pockets. That's why I think that, Jamie's session is super important. And also, going back to what, Anthony is going to cover, also on profitability, like the $1 million listing optimizations, right? I mean, like Anthony, could you just like share with us what sort of results are you seeing from sellers that are like tweaking these small things that can make big differences in profits?
Yeah, I mean, basically what I've seen is that, and I know Chris can talk to this as well, because like I've watched all of his talks, and I really look up to Chris when it comes down to it. And I think he's one of the OG guys of like looking at, you're looking at a listing and you're saying like, okay, we want to go and improve it, and we have metrics that we want to improve, like click-through rate and conversion rate. And the thing is, it can be a little bit abstract. So some of the other things, that other people talk about, it's a little bit more straightforward. It's like you do this and you can expect to get this output. But with this creative optimization, it's a little bit more tricky, because you might not get it right the first time. You might have to go through a lot of different variations on your creative to get this done. And so I think now more than ever, brand owners are taking the time to say, okay, we know that if we really focus on the quality of our listings, and more importantly, the messaging that we're sending to customers, that we can have, impacts, increases in like unit session and click-through rate. And so the whole point of my presentation is like, for the teams that are out there, especially like the bigger companies that have acquired a brand, maybe it's a little, a couple of years old before they put the time into really optimizing the listing. It's kind of the step-by-step process for how you would do it, and how you would like coach your creative team to just start like going in, getting something down on paper, and then testing it, and then going through variation after variation until you upload it into the listing. And the really cool thing about it is like sometimes it's not crazy to see, even on large brands, to see double-digit increases, whether it's in click-through rate or unit session percentage. And the reason that's so important is because even if you don't get it right the first time, right? If you get it right eventually and you can see those increases, that's going to be something that's going to stick with your listing typically in the long term. And it's something that your competitors are going to have to do to go in to catch up. And so the analogy that's, consistently given, right, is like, okay, so you've got a ship, right? And maybe the ship has some holes in it, right? But we're going to go and put a motor on the boat to make the ship go a lot faster. But you're really not going as fast because the ship is kind of already sinking, right? And so if you fix the ship first, now that ship is going to be seaworthy. You're going to be able to really take it a lot further. And so these are things that are very sometimes very tedious and a very long process to do. And again, a lot of the times you won't get it right first. But if you do get to that point of success, like the way that I look at it is, it's not about being right. Being right is just a point in time. So I'm okay with being wrong for a little bit, but as long as I'm right more often than, in the long term, then it's going to be a sustainable increase that you can have for the brand. And if you're dumping this money into pay-per-click, which everyone is, right? You want it to be as effective as possible. Every time someone gets to your listing, you want to try to increase the probability that they're actually going to click add to cart. So it's a lot of work up front, but it's one of those things that's like, I think we're all looking now. Most sellers, I think, who are successful aren't looking in the short term. They're looking a lot longer term out, and they know that, you figure these things out in the beginning and it's going to keep paying dividends, month after month, year after year, and ideally out of a point of an exit too, helping you to get, higher profitability, higher exit, things like that.
Excellent.
I've seen Anthony present on this topic quite a few times. We tend to end up speaking at the same event somehow all the time. But yeah, just I can vouch. He's always presenting really good, up-to-date strategies on increasing conversion rate. And I can also second what he said about, I love that analogy with the ship. I use a similar one about a car. It's super important to focus on this because every seller, especially new sellers, tend to get obsessed with like hacks, like ranking hacks, like what are quick little hacks I can do to rank more, rank fast, like make money fast. But this is the type of stuff that actual 7 and 8 figure sellers focus on, is like, how can I lay great fundamentals to a business to make it succeed? Yeah, so I highly recommend Anthony's talk for anybody out there who really wants to do it right from the get-go.
100%. I love that analogy as well. And I remember Chris said in one of his emails, I follow Chris. He probably doesn't even know this, but one of the subject lines was like the unsexy things that 8-figure sellers are doing to succeed, right? So a lot of it could be these little small things that aren't as sexy as PPC, as like that cool launch strategy. So sometimes it's these fundamentals that work. And if you hear a bell chiming in the background, that's like my local village bell. I live in rural Japan, so that lets us know that it's 30 minutes past the hour. So let's keep moving, guys. I know some of you guys may need to leave early. If you do, feel free. I'm just appreciative of the time you're taking out of your schedules on a weekend. And for everybody watching, this is a golden opportunity to ask some questions if you have any, to Jamie, to Ryan, to Anthony, to Chris. So we have a full house today. So let's go back to the schedule and talking about profitability. I mean, I feel like the Wild West right now. There's all the increasing cost on the supply chain side, the shipping side, the product cost side. I mean, Amazon fees, you name it. One of the key ways that I see 7 and 8 figure sellers succeed is to really focus on bottom line profitability, right? So besides Anthony's session and Jamie's sessions on day 4 profitability, we also have Anna Hill, and she's an accountant. Traditionally not a sexy occupation, but she's literally working with hundreds, if not thousands, of sellers, Amazon sellers. She's really identified, distilled, all of these lessons learned to the 5 characteristics of profitable sellers, and also the common pitfalls that advanced sellers need to know. So this is a more intermediate level session. If you're doing 6 figures plus, I think this is something that would be super valuable that you shouldn't miss, guys. Another session that I thought was really creative is Ken Wilson and David Schomer's session. They were able to take their supply chain from China to self-manufacture in the US. So they're in the Midwest, and with their product, they bought up I'm not going to give away the whole story, but they bought up their neighbor's barn. They converted it into a little factory, and then they were able to, ultimately at the end of the day, they were able to have a lower landed cost than sourcing from China. So, if you're dealing with these supply chain issues, successful sellers, they think outside the box. So highly recommend you guys check out Ken and David's session on Thursday, self-manufacturing the US. I'm curious, like, for people watching, is anybody manufacturing outside of China? Like, where are you manufacturing? Anybody in the US or India or Mexico? Really curious. And to Chris and to Jamie as well. Like, if you're doing anything creative, with the whole supply chain, I'd love to hear from you guys as well. All right. Okay, excellent. And quickly, I'd like to welcome Euro from LA, Najla, and I think there's a delay. So Najla is waiting for the bell. Okay, I think there's a delay. And then Jay Miller as well. Welcome. All right. So let's keep going, guys.
Unfortunately, I have to jump off a little bit early, guys. I'm really excited for this whole event. It was great to come up on this kickoff call with you guys.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much for coming on, and we will see you tomorrow at your session tomorrow morning. All right.
See you, Chris.
Yes.
Great one.
All right. Peace, guys.
Bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris. Excellent. All right. Okay, so let's keep going, guys. So I wanted to also highlight something new that we're doing this year, because you guys were asking about this, and I was listening, and then the good news is my team and I were able to implement this. So we're doing a live daily coffee breakout session over Zoom every single day at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And then this is free to everyone that gets their free pass. All right. So I know a lot of you guys, like to go to in-person events. And then one of the coolest parts, at least for me personally, is not only listening to the presenters, but also meeting other sellers and other attendees, right? Sometimes we're going through the same thing. And sometimes, I find I learn more over the lunch table than, in the conference room, right? So we're really trying to make this experience for you guys over our Zoom live coffee breakout session. So every day we're going to have a coffee breakout session at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I'd love to invite you guys to join these. You can meet some of the other speakers, you can meet other attendees, maybe you can get your questions answered, or even find a potential mastermind partner, right? So I think that's a really cool opportunity. If you guys are excited about that, if you guys want to join that, let me know in the chat, say yes, that you're coming in. And Jamie, Ryan, and Anthony, we'd love to invite you as well. If you want to drop in, we have daily live coffee breaks. It doesn't have to be the day of your session. You can, if you're speaking on Thursday, like Anthony and Jamie, you guys feel free to come on Monday, like tomorrow, right? If you want to, talk shop about the, mindset fundamentals. And, Jamie, I know you're all about that. You talk a lot about that at Endgame Network, right? Just like the mindset and all of the entrepreneurial, journey and the ups and downs, right? I think,
yeah, we've actually started a podcast, Dig to Win, and it's all about the entrepreneurs behind the scenes and all the mindset stuff. So we've actually, our Amazon /mindset, podcast is taking a step back from the strategy and actually talking about the actual person behind the scenes. So we've been doing heaps of interviews and doing a lot of stuff like that with our podcast too, which we know it's so important. We're passionate about it. So we started a podcast about it. So it's pretty cool.
That is awesome. What's the name of the podcast again?
It's Dig to Win, D-I-G.
Dig to Win.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty cool.
So we'd love to check that out, and also welcome to, if Jamie and you guys want to come out to the coffee breakout sessions as well to speak more on that, because I don't want to limit you to just one thing, right? I don't want to pigeonhole you guys, right? You guys are so experienced in so many different ways. Sometimes you can absorb from people just by being around them, right? So and so people like Najla is gonna come out to our coffee breakout room. So if you want to be like Najla and Jamie and meet up with Anthony and Ryan, we would love to invite you. So again, some people said that this blows my mind that you can get all of these sessions for free for 24 hours, and the coffee breakout sessions. People said this is mind blowing. We could charge thousands of dollars for this, but my mission is to really help to help you guys really build, scale, and exit your businesses in 2022. I know, it's the solopreneur journey. It can be lonely. Maybe your family doesn't get it, your friends don't get the whole Amazon e-commerce thing, but we get it. That's why we were creating this online 7-figure seller summit. So super excited to have all you guys on. All right, I feel like I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, so let me just get to keep moving, so we keep everybody on time. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. And
well, I was just going to chime in real quick, Gary. It's like, I think part of the coolest part about the coffee sessions, the networking is, the talks, I think, really focus on, hey, here's what's working, here's what we tried. But I feel like in the networking sessions, you get a lot more of the here's what hasn't worked, right? And I feel like a lot of the times you're learning a lot more, just like, hey, I tried this and it didn't work. And you're like, all these little mistakes, and you can kind of learn from that and think, okay, let me try to learn from what someone else did and see if I can avoid making the same thing in the future.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite.
A really good point.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite expressions is, a smart person learns from their mistakes. A wise person learns from the mistakes of others. So I've learned so much from, interviewing you guys, and when I go to a conference, also, what's not working, and 100%. So, and then also, we're inviting all of our sponsors to help co-host these coffee breakout rooms. So, Ryan, are we going to see you, or are we going to see someone from your team in the coffee breakout sessions?
Yeah, I have them. I have a couple of them down, so I should be there. Most of them, I think, if not all of them.
Yes,
I don't know.
excellent.
It's kind of crazy over here. We'll be around.
Yes. I mean, we're kind of like, just doing so much, like everything we can, because we were voted favorite Amazon conference, and we have to hold that level, right? So we're doing everything we can to help you guys succeed. And just to let you know, I would love to come to all of the coffee breakout sessions, but it comes on at 3 a.m. here in Japan, and I have to be on for the live Q&A as well. So I will not be present at the live coffee breakout sessions, but we do have co-hosts, people like Ryan, and people from the other sponsors to help run the rooms as well. And then we're going to break out into small groups of, like, let's say 5 to 8 sellers per room, so this way we can have more intimate discussions. So if you guys have any feedback or ideas, please let us know. This is the first time we're doing it. It is kind of experimental, but hey, sometimes you gotta move fast, break things. That's how you succeed, right? And then, in addition, we also have the daily live Q&A panel sessions in the evening. So every day at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we're inviting back all of our panelists to come on to take live Q&A with you guys as well. So this is in addition. If you can't make the coffee breakout rooms are more like casual, just like networking, like you can talk about anything. And the daily live Q&As, these are more, based on the speaker's topics, right? So, let's say on Thursday at 7 p.m., you'll hear, Anthony, you'll hear Jamie, and the other speakers, and we'll invite them back. Okay. And one other session I think is super interesting is one from Jason Hanan. He has been selling on Amazon since the early 2000s. He started off in I believe it was the electronics niche, and he really gave a masterclass on pricing. I think pricing is kind of like a scary thing. Like, if you want to raise your price, even though your shipping costs are through the roof, I mean, a lot of sellers, I don't know about you guys. So what do you guys think? Have you guys, maybe quick poll, right? Yes or no? Have you raised your prices recently? Given all of the increase in your shipping costs, I'm curious. And also, Jamie and Ryan and Anthony, I'm curious what you're seeing. Are you guys raising your prices? What are you doing in terms of pricing right now?
Yeah, we raised our prices as soon as the shipping started going up last year, and haven't put them back down. Yeah. And
how's the conversions? How's the response?
It hasn't changed. At the start, it was a little bit. We were sort of like the first ones in our niches to do that, and there was a little bit of hesitancy. But I think across the whole niche, I think everyone's feeling it. So yeah, I haven't seen anything. I've seen competitors put their prices up past ours too now. So maybe people are feeling the pinch in different ways.
Yeah. I've seen some different ranking in new launch strategies of launch at the product price that you want it to be at, but then as obviously you convert more, people are putting coupons, discounts on their own products, and then incrementally stepping it up to where they want it to be, and not having to move the retail price up all the time. So obviously Amazon's algorithm constantly changes, and it doesn't see favorable, just constant little micro tweaks, higher and higher, keep it at that price, but obviously drop the discount lower once you're launching products. I thought that was a new launch strategy, pricing strategy that we saw a lot of people being successful on. Just start to hedge it up a little bit more to where you want it to be.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, things are just changing so fast, and sellers like Jamie have immediately raised their prices, when the shipping costs went up. But some other people may be coming up with new strategies, like what Ryan said, right, with these other discounts, coupons. So that's why we really try to bring in the right speakers, like Jamie, like Ryan, like Anthony, and like Jason as well. I mean, Jason really went super deep into like how much you should increase your price by, what happens if the price impacts your sales. He talks even about like marketing concepts. I mean, there's so much to cover. I'm not going to give it all away, but I highly recommend that session as well, guys. All right. And then rounding it out to our last day at the summit, day 5, March 4th, is all about exits and selling your business. So this could be the end game for a lot of you guys. If you're already at the 7-figure level, this year we're seeing multiples. Obviously not every business can reach that, but we're seeing some businesses selling in multiples in the 5x to even 7x range. I mean, if we just a few years ago, like one of our previous summits, 3x was considered very good, and now we're seeing like up to 7x, which is over double that. So this could be like a property market bubble. Things are red hot right now. So we have multiple presenters, looking at this exits issue from all the different sides, right? We're leaving no stone unturned. So first off, we have THRASIO, Gwen Sylvester. She's the director of acquisitions. She's overseen many, many deals, and she really gives the lowdown how to prepare your private label brand to be attractive to a buyer. So that's a really great masterclass as well. And then I'd like to quickly give a shout out to THRASIO, as they're our platinum sponsor, and I highly recommend that if you are considering an exit, to consider getting a free valuation. I mean, it's no commitment, and if you're not sure how much your business is worth right now, it still makes sense to find out, right? So maybe now's not the right time, but you never know unless you ask, right? So I wanted to quickly give a shout out to THRASIO, and then they are the largest player, and I feel one thing that sets them apart, in my opinion, is they have their team, right? Their team has they just have a wealth of experience when it comes to selling on Amazon. People like Casey Goss and a lot of other experts, in supply chain that, are not as well known. It's not as sexy as a topic. So, they really know Amazon inside and out. So I'm just going to highlight that. Their link. And then many of our previous speakers have exited with THRASIO as well. So to recommend that you consider them if you are thinking about an exit. And I'm going to drop a link for you guys to get a free business valuation at THRASIO there in the chat, guys. All right. And then also we have, talking about exits, Joe Valley from Quiet Light Brokerage. So Joe Valley has overseen many exits as well. So he helps sellers maximize their exits. And one thing that's cool about Joe is that one of our alumni speakers, Mike Jackness from Ecom Crew, in a previous summit, some of you guys may have seen, he really shared his exit story with Color It. So that's one of his own personal brands that he sold. And he actually worked with Joe on his exit. So we're kind of seeing the other side of the story, right? We're bringing Joe in to really help you guys sell your business for top dollar. And Joe actually wrote a book recently called The Exitpreneur. I don't know if Jamie, Ryan, or Anthony, or anyone in the audience has read his book. If not, I highly recommend it. Especially, he has one chapter dedicated to ad backs. So I don't have time to get into the details, but I mean, that could be the most valuable reading that you do like this year, because if you can add back an additional like 50K through, I think he lists through several dozen methods. I mean, that can have like a 7x multiple on your sale. right? So every dollar that you add back could be $7 if you exit. So I highly recommend you check out his book. And quick shout out to Quiet Light Brokerage as well, as they're one of our gold sponsors. And Joe has been very generous to offer a free digital copy of his book, The Exitpreneur's Playbook. So if you are considering exits, if you do want to read it, I mean, the 80/20 is that one chapter on ad backs. I'm going to drop that link in the chat right now for you guys to get that, to get it while it's hot. All right. So let's keep going, guys. And Jamie, Ryan, Anthony, feel free to weigh in on exits, anything you're seeing, or if you're thinking about doing this. Love to hear your thoughts as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I was going to say, Gary, right now, believe it or not, I think these are actually really imperative to listen to, these talks right now. I think, you saw how hot the market is right now, but you're starting to see a lot of aggregators also get a little bit pickier and a little more strategic in terms of what they're looking for. So knowing the most up-to-date, what's valuable in the assets of a minds of an aggregator or business out there, it's going to be comprehensive in the fact that it might not just be lots of ASINs. It might be a really good top selling ASINs. It could be how they're sourcing, how their supply chain is right now. You really have to understand and hear from them directly. So the fact that there's four talks on exiting your business is going to be huge for anyone who's on the cusp of doing that. So definitely take advantage of a lot of those talks for sure.
We actually have 6 talks. We have 6 talks, but
look at that.
Sorry. Yeah.
There you go. I agree with Ryan. I think that the puck's moving too. People thought that they could just get to 7 figures and then just put their business in front of an aggregator and sell. It's just a whole different level of acquisition now. I think that we've been talking to some aggregators. They won't even look at it unless you're doing 2 to 3 million now. That like if you think about it, I mean, I'm not going to take it away from the aggregators, but if you think about it from an aggregator's point of view, it's the same sort of work, picking up a business doing 5 million revenue, and the same thing that has to happen with $1 million. You've just got so much more to build to get to that. You can pick something up for a lot more, insert it into the team, and they're off and running. They're off to the races straight away. It's a good point Ryan brought up with the strategic. I think they're all being really strategic at the moment with what they're picking up for sure.
I know for me, certainly I'm going to be dialing in for Joe's talk, because I think ad backs are something. I think a lot of us have an idea of what ad backs are, but it's such a broad category in terms of what can be included in ad backs. And so I know I have a handful of questions there, because I think it's something that, we look at ad backs at the point of sale, right? And we're like, okay, let's retroactively look and see what can be added back. But I think there's a whole methodology of looking and saying, could I make one-time improvements to the business that could be actually counted as an ad back that people don't consider, right? They're only thinking about ad backs at the point of the sale. And so a lot of sellers I'm talking to now, they're kind of weighing the scale in their head about, well, should I sell now, or should I try to improve the business and get a higher multiple? But then if I do too much improvements on the business, is it actually going to be less attractive to an aggregator, because now there's going to be less for them to do? And what's that fine line of when's the point of sale? What's the amount of work and effort and money? But ad backs are a big part of that, because if you're doing these big one-time improvements to the business, which one of those are going to be qualified? And is it actually a lower risk to go and spend some money doing these one-time improvements to the business that could be, potentially, rolled into the future valuation?
And that's a good one, Anthony, because I think some of our customers, just same topic, but off topic, ship savvy, are actually optimizing everyone's businesses just before exit, and they're going in saying, hey, all these products that we sell are actually optimized like this now, and getting them in ad back. So we're finding some of our customers in our SaaS are actually going in with optimized results now and putting them in through for their exit and getting amazing results. And aggregators are doing the same once they acquire a business. We've got a couple of aggregators who are working through the platform, optimizing everything that they just purchased. So it's an interesting space.
Well, and Jamie, I don't want to take anything away from your talk, but in your experience, because a lot of the sale price is going to be determined on some historical data, right? But do you ever get into the situation where it's hey, we optimize this container and we're reducing our costs or our freight by this much, and they actually look at that as a realistic representation of what's going to happen into the future, even if it's not historical? Or is that do I just have to wait for the
yeah, that's what's happening. And I guess even down to the granular level of changing cartons and packaging and all that, just before an exit saying, hey, we've optimized our cartons and our pallets, and what we used to have in storage was this, but now we've reduced it to this because we're getting more on a pallet and we're getting this many units into Amazon and our stateside shipping. So there's a whole array of things that they're exploring.
I'm definitely going to check. I'm just taking notes. I can't make all of them, but there's a few that I definitely want to see, and that's one of them.
Well, one of the things, I won't talk about it too much, but if you think about it, a lot of 3PLs have pivoted now to store Amazon-sized pallets. So we all know that Amazon, you can store a pallet to 72 inches tall. Before that, it was, 3PLs were very reluctant to do that because, they're racking and fire restrictions up high in racking and all sorts of warehouse issues. So they would have a 50-inch limit. Now, all of a sudden, your gear gets there, a 40-foot container gets unloaded to 50-inch instead of 72-inch. And all of a sudden, you're paying for like 50 pallets in storage instead of 38 pallets in storage per day, per pallet. It adds up. So now 3PLs have realized that there's such a lucrative market in 3PL and storage for Amazon and e-com sellers. A lot of them are pivoted to actually store 72-inch pallets. Now it's just a maths game. You work out what they're charging for a 72 compared to a 50. It's pretty much the same because they want to stay in the market and stay competitive. And now people are building their pallets to 72. Instead of having 50 pallets, they got 38 pallets in storage. Things like that we're seeing all the time because there's 44 pallets usually in a 40-foot container. What height are you storing them at? Our software builds all that for you, so it can show you, what it looks like at different heights. For me, for an example, we were only getting 15 master cartons on one pallet with this 3PL we're using. And with my program, I only got one more box on there. It was 10 more units, but it was only one more box. But over the whole container, over 3 months, I got a refund for $1,000, right, from our 3PL provider because he was like, hey, I didn't know I could get another box on your pallet, but, we'll do the right thing. And we should have been storing it like this because what happens is people send their goods to these 3PLs. No one knows how to stack it on a pallet. It's just the guys on the floor, We've just got all these boxes and we've got all these pallets. Let's put it away. And they make up 50 pallets and they put them away. And you get a bill at the end of the month for storage and pay it. And that's it. But yeah, when you get into it, it's a whole nother ball game.
100%, guys, 100%. And as we're rounding out the hour, we just have a few minutes left. I wanted to, I was talking to Anthony, and I believe we have a prize, $100 in credits, in Picku credits. Is that something that we can give away to a lucky winner today? So, Anthony, what do you think? How should we do this? Should we do like a trivia question, first person that gets it right, or what do you think? How should we do this?
I don't know, Gary. You're putting me on the spot. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, man, I can figure out a lot of things, but this is a lot right now. I'm thinking. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm just thinking if I know a trivia question that I can.
Yeah, or Jamie and Ryan, if you can help Anthony out, if there's a.
How about how much ad revenue did Amazon generate? Was it Q4 recently came out, or this past year? How much ad revenue over the across the last year? I think it is.
Like
Okay.
different people running PPC.
Yeah, PPC ad revenue for Amazon.
Okay.
How much did they generate from PPC last year? I think I got
how much. Yeah, how much did Amazon generate in ad revenue last year in 2020?
We talk about PPC, like the sexy topics we talked about. So we're gonna go back to the sexy topics. Let me see if I can pull this real quick. No cheating.
I think it might be sexy, but when we hear the answer, we're all gonna feel it in our gut, like, man, we've spent a lot of money to Amazon just for ads. Holy cow.
Yes. Okay, so that's the question, guys. First person that gets it correct. How much did Amazon generate in ad revenue in 2021? Okay, so we have one answer coming in from Apper, 31 billion. Is that right? Ryan, do you know the answer to this?
No, question? I do. Yeah, I was going to see if there's more specific, but yeah, 31 billion.
Okay, so we have one guess from Apper, 31 billion.
Maybe it's like closest without going over.
I was going to say, yeah, closest. Yeah, we're
closest without going over. And Jay says 3 billion. Any other guesses, guys? Come on, it's $100. It's $100, man.
I'm trying to think of like the math, right? Like, so is it, how many Amazon sellers are there? It's like what, 2 million Amazon sellers on the platform. Like,
I can throw in some other stats too that I read about this. It's kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah, I know that Amazon's the third largest digital advertising platform behind Google and Facebook ads.
That's correct.
So yeah,
and the tiebreaker, I have a tiebreaker lined up too.
Yeah, and Evelyn says 30 billion, so closest without going over.
Yeah.
So we have 3 votes so far. I know I see several dozen of you guys watching live. So Retweak says 24 billion.
I'm just going to preface this too. These are crazy numbers to think about, where PPC was a few years ago versus what it is now today.
Yeah.
When people, I forget the statistic of how many people are actually using PPC for their brand, but this number is incredible.
I know. I feel this is a real cash cow for Amazon, because not only do they own the platform, they're collecting money from the sellers like us. They're collecting money from the customers, and they're collecting money to
very
advertise.
Specific guess from Lois, excuse me.
Okay, Jay says 31. Ben says 8 billion. Lois 31.16 billion, and Jason says 11.19 billion. So we're going very granular.
Depends where they're Googling this from.
Yeah.
From 47.
Too much time has been out.
I was gonna say, so we'll go ahead. We'll go with this. It's $31.2 billion in ad revenue. 2021.
Okay. Just in that year.
Another fun fact: they have now surpassed YouTube in ad revenue. YouTube, which has been around for years. Insane. So you see ads all the time in all those videos. You might have seen one if you're watching this on replay.
Yeah,
more money being generated through Amazon and their ad platform.
Yeah, so I believe before Ryan announced the answer, 31. What was the answer? 32 billion.
31.2.
31.2. So closest without going over, I believe, is Lois Wilton.
That's pretty close.
Yeah,
well done, Lois. I know Lois is in the Endgame network, so well done.
Congratulations, Lois Wilton. If you can send us an email. Anthony, what's the best way to do this? Should they contact you, or what's the best way to do this?
Yeah, they can just send an email to me, Anthony at Picku, and I'll send over the coupon and enjoy the polls.
There you go. Anthony.
Awesome.
So, congrats, Lois. Go ahead and email Anthony to get that. And it pays to come on our live kickoff party today. So excellent, guys. Congratulations. And
Anthony, do you have your email in case Lois doesn't have it?
Yeah.
Should I type it in? I don't think I can, but it's just Anthony.
I can type it in. If you're okay with giving it out, I can type it in.
That's fine.
Anthony at pickfu.com.
Pickfu.com.
Don't spam it.
There you go.
Yeah, everyone's going to be like, I was the winner.
Well, we already know who the winner is, right?
Yeah, I guess
yes. Okay. So again, congratulations, Lois Wilton. I'll take a screenshot of this, so that will be the proof. And good luck with the optimization. All right, guys. So thank you so much for coming on today. I'm super excited. We will be launching 7-Figure Seller Summit tomorrow, and we're kicking things off tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And just one last thing, guys, we do have an optional all access pass upgrade. It is a paid pass. It's entirely optional. If you want to watch for free, you get the 24-hour access. But for some people, maybe you're too busy. You can't catch the sessions that you want in time. That's why we have this optional upgrade. And you will get additional bonuses as well. So for example, from Getita is offering $400 in reimbursements to everyone. But if you upgrade to the all access pass, you get $500. You'll get free group coaching with 7-figure sellers like Jamie, right? So Jamie's going to offer a group coaching session to the all access pass community. You'll get a bonus live Q&A with PPC experts like Leon Hirschkorn and Mansoor from Incrementum. And Picku is offering some extras as well. I believe 50% off their first time poll. And there are many more than I have time to talk about. So if you are interested in that, I highly recommend that you check it out. It is the 7-Figure Seller Summit All Access Pass. All right. Other than that, I just wanted to thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Ryan, for coming on today. I really appreciate everything you've done and all the value that you're sharing to our community. My hat goes off to you, gentlemen, and we will see you guys at the summit. All right. So awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, everyone.
See everyone.
All right. See you guys soon. Bye, everyone.